Are they actually trying to crash the economy on purpose? Michael Snyder reports. They actually did it. The Federal Reserve just raised interest rates by another 25 basis points right in the middle of a major banking crisis. I honestly do not understand what Fed officials are thinking. They had already blown a $620 billion black hole in the balance sheets of U.S. banks by raising rates so aggressively, and that resulted in the second and third largest bank failures in U.S. history earlier this month. Apparently, they're not yet satisfied with the carnage that they have caused, and so they have decided to make things even worse. What we're witnessing is either extreme incompetence of epic proportions, or they are trying to crash the economy on purpose. I'm sitting here trying to think of a third alternative, but so far I'm coming up blank. Fed officials can see exactly what their reckless rate hikes are doing to the system, but they are pressing forward anyway. Wednesday's rate hike was the ninth consecutive rate increase. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday raised its benchmark interest rate by 1/4 of a point, forging ahead with its fight against stubborn inflation, despite a spate of bank failures and a growing crisis within the financial sector. The unanimous decision puts the key benchmark federal funds rate at a rate of 4.75% to 5%, the highest since 2007, from near zero just a year ago. It marks the ninth consecutive rate increase aimed at combating high inflation. The fact that it was a unanimous decision should greatly alarm all of us. Isn't there a single voice or reason left at the Fed? The last time the Fed raised rates like this was just before the financial crisis of 2008, and we all remembered what that did to our banking system. But the Fed insists that this time is different. In fact, we were just told that our banking system is sound and resilient. The U.S. banking system is sound and resilient, the Fed said. Recent developments are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses and to weigh on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. The extent of these effects is uncertain. The committee remains highly attentive to inflation risks. Of course, banks don't tighten the flow of credit when things are good. They tighten the flow of credit when they get into trouble. And it appears that another major U.S. bank is now exhibiting signs of distress. Shares of regional bank PacWest Bancorp dropped Wednesday after the company disclosed that it had shed more than $6 billion in deposits during the recent squeeze on mid-sized banks, though PacWest said it did not plan to raise more capital. The bank said in a press release on Wednesday that it had $27.1 billion in deposits as of March 20th, which is down from $33.9 billion at the end of December and from $33.2 billion on March 9. The change appears to have largely come from venture banking deposits, which accounted for 1/3 of PacWest deposits in the end of December and now stand at just 24%. There are more than 4,000 banks in the United States today, and hundreds of them could end up failing before this crisis is over. That would mean fewer mortgages for potential homeowners. That would also mean fewer auto loans, credit cards, and debt cards. Unfortunately, the flow of credit is the lifeblood of our economy, and so we need our banks to be healthy. But if the Federal Reserve continues to go down this road, bank after bank will be absolutely crushed. Needless to say, the Fed's insane policies are also bursting the household bubble. At this point, U.S. home prices are down 12.3% since last June. The national median existing home price fell 0.2% in February from a year earlier to $363,000, the first year-over-year decline since February 2012. The National Association of Realtors said Tuesday. Median prices are down 12.3% from their record $413,800 in June. U.S. homeowners have already lost trillions of dollars of home equity, and now the Fed has just poured more fuel on the fire, and this is madness. It's literally insane that the Federal Reserve is to aggressively hike rates as we are plunging into a major economic downturn, but this is precisely what they're doing. Look, if the long-term economic outlook was positive, do you think that Walmart would be closing even more stores? Walmart has announced plans to close stores in Hawaii and Minnesota, which join a handful of other stores closing in several states this year. The retail giant said the decision was made after a review process that determined the impacted stores failed to meet financial expectations, the company told USA Today. 10 stores in Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Minnesota, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington, D.C., and Wisconsin will close by the end of the year, along with 2 experimental pickup locations in Illinois and Arkansas. Walmart exists to make money. If there was a chance that those stores could be turned around, Walmart would not be permanently shutting them down. Sadly, other major retailers are also closing locations all over the nation. They can see what is coming. Higher interest rates are already crushing economic activity from coast to coast, and they're battening down the hatches. The experts, quote unquote, at the Fed are assuring all of us that they know exactly what they're doing, but the truth is that they have lost control. And as we read this, wealthy individuals and large companies are pulling uninsured money out of the small and mid-sized banks all over America. Many of those small and mid-sized banks will soon be in very serious jeopardy, and that will significantly reduce the flow of credit into our economy. Is that what they want? Do they really want to see the U.S. economy implode? Our leaders continue to make mind-numbing bad decisions, and we are on a course that leads to a national suicide. When will the American people finally wake up? Sadly, most Americans are still blindly trusting the experts, quote unquote, and these experts have us on a highway to extreme misery. This is by Michael Snyder. About the author, he says, "My name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.